Hey everybody, it's Matt from Your Horror Movies, and welcome to another Top 10 Tuesday. Sorry I'm getting this a little late, just got out of work, and I forgot earlier, got a little busy, so I'm doing another list of Top 10 films I do not recommend. This is part 2. I did one before of a list of movies, so I'm doing another one. Now, you're probably going, why do you keep these films? I don't know. I just do. For some, it's actually finish up a series. You know, as a completionist, you got to have one through whatever. Some were just you spent some money on it. You're like, I'm gonna get a quarter back or a dollar back. Why bother? I might just hold on to it because you never know. So these are another. Again, like also too, some were given to me or wasn't like boxes of like blind boxes, horror blocks, horror packs, that kind of thing. So anyway, so these are the top 10 films I do not recommend, part 2. Ooh, 2. So here we go with the list. So I rewatched my video to make sure I didn't put any doubles. So, without further ado, let's get on with the list. Number 10 is Shark Lake with Dolph Lundgren. Yes, this is a killer shark film. Oh, just was so long. It could have been so much better. I like Dolph Lundgren, but seeing him in this weird shark film, it just didn't make any sense. He was a animal smuggler, and he running from the cops. He crashes his truck in the lake and releases a rare shark, and the shark is now killing people in this lake. He's trying to save his daughter from his marriage. Some things just didn't work. The plot, there was a lot of plot holes. There were just some bad acting here and there. Yeah, just a weird film. I don't recommend it. Unless you're a big shark movie collector, like you gotta have every killer shark film. By all means, but don't pay a lot of money. I paid $10 for this, and that was way too much. I found it at Best Buy. I'm like, ooh, a killer shark film, gotta have it. Yeah, came up and bit me in the ass. All right, number 9 is another one I was hoping to be really good, but it wasn't. And that is Nothing Left to Fear. And I know some people probably like this film. Everyone's all different with their opinions, but me, I did not like this one. This was done by Slash. He was a producer on this. This was his first horror movie. Yeah, it's like a religious horror. Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of plot holes. A lot of things that didn't make sense. Uh, it was kind of basic. There was nothing really spectacular in this film. The only thing that had it going was a little bit of the special effects when people were possessed. When they walk, they like had these shadow veins on the ground. That was pretty neat, but the rest of the movie was kind of dull. So I hate to say it, but Nothing Left to Fear is on my number 9. I'm not too my films to recommend. Number 8, I found this at a pawn shop for a couple bucks. The cover caught me in, and it stinks. And that is called Deep Shock. Now, you look at this, you're like, wow, that's pretty badass looking. Scuba divers, this weird eel-like thing. Yeah. There is no eel. They are like weird electrical seahorses. And they don't do a lot of the killing as much. It's pretty bad. I sat there and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I watching? It completely changed. Here's one that don't judge a movie by its cover. And I don't recommend this. Especially me being and loving creature features. This is a dull creature feature. I wasn't happy with it. So at number 8 was Deep Shock. Number 7 is brought to you by Code Red. And this is Boring Slasher Trick or Treats. When I saw this coming on Blu-ray, I never saw the film. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta grab this because it's a slasher I haven't seen from the 80s. Love collecting some of those obscure ones. Popped it in, got ready to watch it, and I was bored out of my mind. I don't know why they call it a slasher, because there's only one kill, and it takes forever for it to happen. David Carradine is in it for the first couple minutes, and that's it. Steve Railsback did an okay job in this film, but Yeah, the the way the killer gets killed, you can figure it out within the first couple minutes of actually watching it. When it shows the annoying little kid running around, you show his magic tricks. Yeah, you can like, oh, they're gonna use that as a final shot, and they do. Pretty lame, pretty boring. Ugh, I don't know why I spent the money on it, but again, I don't recommend it. 6. Hey, we got some Wild Eye. That is Acid Bath. I did a review on this with Body Bags. The cover art is fucking amazing. But after watching this film, I actually had to fast forward through this because I wanted to get to the end. Now, me, I never fast forward through a movie. I sit there and watch it, but this one was just nails on the chalkboard. I didn't care. Like, if low budget, that's fine with me. But there's scenes where they're talking Spanish with no subtitles, and it's through quite a chunk of the film. I don't know what they're talking about. Uh, Bad acting. Some really, really weird shit going on in this movie. There's a guy that's pretty much going around killing girls with acid, which is okay, but then he's working for the drug cartel. Then the drug cartel finds a hitman to take out this guy. Oh, it's all over the place, and I don't recommend it. I'm sorry. I know some people like the film. I do not. All right. Number 5 is Smiley. This weird film was a kick in my nuts. It hurt pretty bad. They started doing this weird internet thing where if you say, I did it for the lulz 3 times to someone, you will die. Really? I did it for the lulz. And they did a whole internet, let's say it was a like an urban legend called Smiley. It was awful. Ugh, it was stupid. I don't know what to say about this movie, but the ending was pretty cool. If they do a sequel to it, they better do it based on the ending because this movie was shit. I was so pumped for it. I remember all the hype on it on the internet on this movie. The mask looks pretty cool, but yeah, it was dumb. Then you see this mask looks like a fucking potato head character. I do not recommend Smiley whatsoever. If you're thinking about picking it up, you know what? It's your money. But I do not recommend it. All right, number 4 is Wrong Turn 5 Bloodline. Now, me, after watching this film, I hated all the people in it. I hated the scenario. I hated it all. It's like a one-time watch for me. The only reason why I own Part 5 is because I want to collect all the wrong turns. The only one I'm missing is Part 4, so I just got to pick up 4. But, the people in this scenario did the most stupidest things. So whoever wrote this story wasn't really doing it well. Everyone does the most dumbest things in this film, and you're asking yourself, really? You're going to do that? You're pretty stupid. I think this had Doug Bradley in it as the father of the hillbillies there. I think it was. But again, they put him in the situation where the town went off and they're at this weird party, and of course, left the small town by itself. Of course, no one's in the town except for a small group of people. Really, no one stays by. Stupid. I didn't like it, so I don't recommend it. All right, number 3 is Absolute Zombies. This is another Wild Eye film, and it is rough. Really, really rough film to sit through. Again, you got some cool artwork, but yeah, just another typical zombie film. It was, I don't know. I can't say much about it. I don't recommend it at all. It's just a really, really hard film to sit through. The zombies were pretty stupid. The acting was really bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that away. All right, number 2 is another one because I had to own the rest of the franchise. and that is Warlock 3, The End of Innocence. This movie was shit. They should have just kept it as two movies. Leave it as Warlock and Warlock 2. Never made a third one. Been perfect. But they come along and they made this movie. This was I think it was a Sci-Fi Channel film or a made-for-TV movie, and it was balls to the wall awful. The Warlock was bad. The kills were dumb. Being in I think it was like a small house or something they were reinventing. I don't know. I watched it once and I said, stupid. So I never watched it again. I'll probably never will. I'll just keep it because I own Warlock 1 and 2. So, gotta have part 3. So that completion's into me. Alright, for my number 1, this part 2 that I do not recommend is a remake. Yeah, my first one had a remake, so my second one has a remake. And that is the Fog remake. Yes, this movie was awful. When I first knew about this, I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. They're remaking The Fog. Yeah. After watching this film, like, they changed the story big time. Stupid. Being, if you know the remake, you know this girl's part, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. Why do you got to have that in there? That's dumb. Just the scenes were stupid. I tried, I did it to myself. I tried rewatching the remake again not that long ago, and I sat there going, really? Why am I doing this to myself again? I do not recommend this at all. A lot of people dislike this film. The only people who probably like this film are the people who saw this movie first and never saw the remake. I mean, saw the original, and they know about this movie, or they saw this first and then they didn't like the original because it's an older film. No, the older one blows this movie out of proportion. Stay away from the remake. I got this from a pawn shop for $1. I think I paid too much, but just wanted because I have Fog and I wanted the remake I wanted to do a comparison of good versus bad, or a remake battle, good original versus remake. So I had to get this one because I want to do a battle of the Fogs. The original's going to win, but again, stay away from this film. Alright guys, that's my top 10 of films I do not recommend, part 2. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know in your comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts. Alright guys, have a good one. Peace.